It's 2 in the morning in a cramped apartment. Your dog, your shadow for 12 years, just took his final breath. The grief is immediate, but so is a cold mechanical problem. You don't own a backyard, you don't have a shovel, and even if you did, you can't carry a 50-pound animal onto a late-night bus to find an empty patch of dirt. Panic sets in. The body is stiffening. With no services open and no land to dig, the options rapidly narrow to the unthinkable, wrapping them in a garbage bag, slipping out into the dark, and leaving the remains in a municipal dumpster or alley. When a grieving owner makes a choice like that, it rarely stems from a sudden lack of empathy. It happens because they are trapped in a system that offers absolutely zero infrastructure for their crisis. Society categorizes animal life into 2 distinct paths: utilitarian and companionate. In the utilitarian model, an animal is strictly a unit of production or a business asset. Their value is determined by output, and biological lifespans are managed like numbers on a spreadsheet. Take the agricultural practice known as anapratha in parts of India. Here, dairy cows are part of a massive industrial system. When they stop producing milk, they are abandoned on the streets to fend for themselves. Once the asset stops generating revenue, the system discards it. On the other side is the companionate view, driven by what scientists call the human-animal bond, or HAB. This is a dynamic relationship where the animal is elevated to the status of an irreplaceable emotional family member. And here is where the tragedy of that 2 a.m. apartment scenario crystallizes. You are experiencing the deep, crushing grief of the companionate bond, but you are forced to navigate a municipal waste system built exclusively for the utilitarian reality. Breaking out of that rigid reality requires someone who doesn't fit the traditional mold. In the city of Sagar, Madhya Pradesh, that person was Krishna Vishwakarma. He constantly clashed with the standard educational track. Krishna failed the 12th grade 3 separate times. He eventually enrolled at SVN University to study technical fields like computer science, civil, and mechanical engineering, but he ultimately dropped out of all of them. He found cold machinery alienating. Instead, he gravitated toward animal physiology, learning the biological rhythms and mental states of animals not through textbooks, but through a raw, highly attuned empathy for living creatures. This empathy was obvious at his family's grocery store. They kept a baby chick on the premises, but they didn't raise it as future livestock. It was nurtured as a deeply bonded pet. The bond was so pronounced that the bird developed a highly specific routine. It would physically pick up paper cash from the customers with its beak and carry it over to place in the store's register. For Krishna, this small bird completely defied the societal expectation of poultry as a mere resource. It was a textbook example of the companionate relationship, living its life as an engaged, intelligent member of the family business. In August 2014, Krishna returned to Sagar carrying a major victory. He had just won a silver medal in a regional powerlifting competition, but the celebration was cut short the moment he walked in. His beloved chick had been severely wounded in a cat attack. Despite his desperate efforts, the bird died right there in his hands. Sagar had 0 municipal services for animal burial. Overwhelmed and needing a respectful way to handle the remains, Krishna handed the body over to a local acquaintance he trusted to manage the disposal properly. The following day, he learned the truth. The acquaintance hadn't buried the pet, he had cooked and consumed it. The betrayal was gut-wrenching, but it forced Krishna into a sharp realization. People commit horrific acts or abandon their pets in dumpsters because the city fails to offer a clear, immediate alternative for dignified disposal. Being morally outraged wouldn't fix the problem. The only way to stop people from making desperate, undignified choices was to engineer a logistical system that made doing the right thing effortless. That system became Animal Moksha Dham. Launched by Krishna through his company, Royal Bulls Advisory, it was designed specifically to act as the missing municipal layer for grieving pet owners. The mechanics are entirely frictionless. A single phone call or a quick WhatsApp message acts as a trigger, instantly dispatching a specialized, equipped team directly to the owner's location to handle the remains. This rapid response specifically protects vulnerable groups. If a woman is home alone at night and physically cannot dig a grave or transport a heavy deceased animal, the team eliminates that physical barrier entirely. By intercepting these remains, the service scientifically processes the carcasses, eliminating the biological hazards of improper disposal and directly advancing the national Swachh Bharat, or Clean India, public health mission. By providing a reliable logistical bridge, Animal Moksha Dham catches people in their most vulnerable state, neutralizing the 2 a.m. panic before it degrades into a regrettable choice. State governments do draft well-intentioned top-down policies. Initiatives like the birth-to-death program and proposals for massive electric crematoriums exist on paper. The fatal flaw of those macro policies is the lack of last-mile accessibility. A multi-million-dollar crematorium is useless to a panicking citizen in the middle of the night if there is no immediate way to transport the animal there. Krishna Vishwakarma started as a student who couldn't pass a traditional engineering exam. But by relying on raw empathy, he engineered a highly effective social solution that bridged the vast gap between theoretical government policy and stark ground-level reality. True progress in animal welfare doesn't come from simply demanding that people do the right thing during a crisis. It comes from building the specific, accessible infrastructure that makes dignity the easiest possible option.